Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned in to another live edition of the Lockergnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. Your daily dose of not just the news, but answers that you can use like an answer to the question, Chris, what is up with all that video game testing you've been doing in this channel? I thought it was all about geek lifestyles. Well, do geeks not play games? Far be it for me, I've been testing some hardware, and I don't think anybody's minded. In fact, I think I've shown people some games they had no idea existed. I'm playing the games that I play anyway, or that I like to play. The casual games, which I realize aren't hot, but hey, neither am I. But I've never claimed to be hot. I have claimed to be broadcasting a TLDR every weekday. Hopefully you're able to tune in. Patrons get all the TLDR videos, even if they're not able to watch them live. They get the Q&A videos, and I do one of those every weekday, so that's like 5 bonus videos every week. It's like 20 a month. For your ongoing patronage, starting at just $5, I'm sorry, $2 a month. $5 patrons get special bonuses like sneak peek of my tech blog posts from Pirillo.com. Head over to ChrisPirillo.com for more information to become a patron if you want to become a patron. But this week, I am very happy to say we're sharing every TLDR video broadcast, not just in the podcast, because that's a bonus. Everybody gets that. You don't need to be a patron for that. But everybody gets TLDR as a video this week because of our sponsor, LittleBits. More information at littlebits.com/Lockergnome. What is LittleBits? Well, the kit that I have here has several components that, if put together in a variety of configurations, will do different things. You see, magnet magic. I got that. Circuits in seconds. Yep, done that. Build your own projects that move and light up. I love doing that. Today, I built a project that does not move and it does not light up. But here's what I've got in my hands, in case you're wondering, the LittleBits component here. I got the power component, or the piece of the circuitry that has now been put together. It's attached to the little battery, the 9-volt battery, 9V. It's just a standard 9-volt battery. And these aren't standard. You can't just walk into a store and just get these individual components. You'd have to, solder them together on your own, and that's just, not for me, because I don't trust myself around instruments that could burn me, by and large. This is a device that will allow me to buzz whenever I want it to buzz. But I'm going to toggle the buzz with this button. So you see I've got the power component, and attached to that directly is the button component, and attached to that is the buzzer component. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Did you hear anything? No is the answer, because I have not pressed the button. I have power. That's what the LED indicates. Boy, I am just tripping over words today. Here we go. If I press this button, the buzzer should sound. It sounded. So I can do things like this. Huh? Now, if I removed the button component from the mix, it would just be annoying. I don't want to be annoying. I want to be able to toggle when this goes on or off. And see, the nice thing is, I could put this in anything. I could build something around it. That's what LittleBits can help you do. So I can make a buzz bell, a doorbell, for a spaceship or a dollhouse or whatever, I could do that. I could make that. I made this! You can make it too. Head over to LittleBits.com. Use the code LockerGnome. LittleBits.com/Lockergnome will take you directly to the page. You don't have to tell them I sent you. Circuits in seconds. LittleBit.com. I'm sorry, LittleBits.com/Lockergnome. I tell you what, it's easier if you just tap the link in the description. It's so much easier. It's so straightforward. It's fun to do stuff like that. You remember when things were fun? Well, I do. 5 minutes ago. Do you hear anything right now? No, because there's no buzzer attached. I'm going to move on. Dash A Bluetooth speaker. It's a soundbar speaker. Bluetooth. 50% off at deals.lockergnome.com. VoIP, that's voice over IP for beginners, free. That's an ebook download for you. The Nikon Coolpix P530 digital camera, 39% off, and a Pro CSS course for free. So that's the array of deals that we have for you at deals.lockergnome.com today, amongst other things. What's interesting about that Pro CSS course, I could probably take it and should take it. It's free at deals.lockergnome.com. But I know that inevitably I'm going to need a little more CSS help with Pirillo.com. I know I'm going to need help. It doesn't look good right now, but the information should be solid. Solid enough. It just needs to be tweaked. Maybe I need to change the theme. That's probably what I need to do. Not happy with the stock theme. Either way, you're welcome to go to either one of those sites, deals.lockergnome.com or Pirillo.com. We have an array of things to discuss today on Pirillo.com, as a matter of fact. This link is in the description for you. I posted 2 things today. Facing the Apple Music, talking about what I believe could be the solution to the problem that indie labels, or at least one indie label, has suggested Apple has given them. Artists and these indie labels do not want to be included in the labels, music labels, do not want to be included in the 3-month free trial of Apple Music because otherwise the artists aren't getting paid. And you know what? I don't blame them at all. I've got a solution that'll make everybody happy. Apple should be happy, the label should be happy, and you should be happy with my solution. But it's a solid solution, and not everybody's going to agree with me. I never promised to be conciliatory. I am going to put my opinion out there. I also posted 7 things that I think Periscope could improve upon in its broadcast tool. We're periscoping almost every day about random things. We don't really have a topic to go by, but that's the beauty sometimes of doing it live. We're doing it live! Unlike TLDR, and I tend to focus on the news or information that has come across my desk that I think is interesting enough to talk about. For the patrons today, I answered the question not only in the Q&A, but in a separate post. Which tech player is playing catch-up? Is it Microsoft? Is it Apple? Is it Google? Which one of them is playing catch-up? I'm going to let you guess. You go ahead and answer it for yourself, because I've got my answer. I know what my answer is, and here's a hint. It would be a different answer a year from now. And then the year after that, it's probably going to be a different answer. Is that enough of a clue? Just think about it. Which one of those tech players is playing catch-up? Which one? And why would my answer change? Just think about it. Don't just take the news for what it is. Actually, accommodate it and go, oh, yeah, that's interesting. Or, oh, yeah, no, that's boring. I don't want to talk about that. This is the stuff I do want to talk about. Twitter has a top secret project called Lightning. It's been revealed, so I guess it's no longer top secret. It's a new tool that'll give the company a way to show the best of Twitter with both logged in and logged out users on a variety of platforms. It'll have instantly loading videos and rich images and will occupy front and center locations in an upcoming version of the Twitter app. So effectively, what they're doing is embracing their inner Twitterosity. This is where you go. You go to Twitter to get what's hot and what's happening. I'm guessing, right? If there's a big event, you're on Twitter, or you should be. If there's something happening, you go to Twitter, because that's what's going on, or that's where it's happening. That's where people are tweeting, they're posting. Well, now they own Periscope. So a lot of live video is going to be coming down the pike. And that's great. That's fantastic news. That's amazing news, especially if you happen to like Twitter. And you tend to be involved in a lot of events that people get involved with on Twitter in general. So the tool should help people better accommodate what Twitter is and further solidify its place, or to solidify, in media. Because Twitter, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the leading outlets for media. One of the bigger ones that I rely on, certainly. I pretty much look at Twitter, not 24/7, but when I'm awake, I kind of keep an eye on Twitter, if only for a zeitgeist. I get a better idea of what's happening in my world, things that I'm interested in, things that I want to know about. The only exception to the rule is when they're talking about things that I don't want to know about, like new episode releases of TV shows. I don't want to watch Twitter. Or movies that I haven't necessarily seen. I don't want spoilers. I hate spoilers. That's the one thing that Twitter needs to fix. They haven't done a very good job with that. Someone almost ruined the Game of Thrones Season 5 finale for me the other day. Luckily, it didn't really ruin it, because what happened was nothing like what had happened. Or what was tweeted was nothing like what had actually happened. So I was very, very grateful for that. Now, Twitter is also planning its first ever major marketing campaign, which will aim to better explain the purpose and benefits of the service. Dude, if you do not understand how to use Twitter, I understand that, because it can be confusing. But if you don't understand the value of where that is, especially in the moment, the zeitgeist, when something's happening, if I want to know, I go to Twitter. Forget any other platform. If I want to know about something, I don't search for anything anywhere else apart from Twitter. Because this is where the world shares news. It isn't on websites so much anymore. Yeah, websites have news, don't get me wrong, but Twitter is where the conversation is happening. It's not Facebook. And Facebook doesn't like that at all. Google definitely doesn't like that. But Facebook, as a matter of fact, in tow, they're rolling out a feature that they're screwing with the news feed again. But the good news is you'll soon have a feature to toggle on someone's page to automatically put their stuff at the top of your feed. So if you don't want to miss anything that I'm posting on Facebook, finally, you have a way to fix it. You're in control. Why Facebook didn't do this eons ago is beyond me. So Facebook's trying to play catch up in this case. But Facebook's never really been a source for breaking news for me. Maybe some aggregate news, but for the most part, if I want to know and I want to be involved with people during an event, any kind of news event, I'm on Twitter. I'm tweeting. I'm interacting that way. Events are for Twitter, and Twitter is perfect for events. I wish I could do even more events and be involved in more events. I've done Twitter chats in the past. Of course, I broadcast on Periscope. I've used Meerkat as well. I wish that Periscope was better than it is. I mean, it works well enough, but it's missing some crucial features for community engagement. I kind of have to work my way around the system. I ask people to take screenshots and tweet them because, it gives me a chance to retweet them. And I like retweeting people who are doing things that are showing that they participate with the things that we do, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I'm no longer interested in just the passive or creating things for passive attention. I like knowing that I'm interacting with people, and I like knowing that they're interacting with me. Periscope's been a great gateway for that, and I hope Twitter takes that and just makes it a better experience for everybody. So we plan on doing some things later this year, as we've talked about. Plans have kind of changed, but not radically. We're going to be adjusting them. I have nothing to announce right now. But as the role of live video is concerned, so long as we have signal in an event space, yeah, I'm fine. If someone wants to tweet about the event and Periscope the event or Meerkat, whatever, go for it. That's awesome. It saves me the time and trouble and the cost of doing it myself. And quite honestly, Periscope, works well enough. So I'm excited to see where the live aspect of Twitter is going, because people have been using it that way anyway. So for Twitter to acknowledge it is really close to its roots, if only because you might remember hashtags didn't originally exist on Twitter. It was a proposal from Chris Messina from The Roots before he worked at Google, I believe, but suggesting that, hey, maybe they should have hashtags like dynamic IRC. You'd have a pound sign and then a room name. This is exactly what Twitter had adopted, and hashtags kind of were solidified in history. Solidified. That's the word I've said correctly now, and I've said it twice. I need to expand my vocabulary. I know. YouTube's not sitting still, at least in relation to news. As much as I believe they've completely decimated anything that I've done on YouTube as of late, I'm not kidding. I did a search for my Apple Watch video. I did a search. Apple Watch video, Chris Pirillo. And YouTube and Google were like, what? It's not that I didn't title it with Apple Watch. It's just I don't think YouTube likes me, quite honestly. That's completely on them. I like YouTube for as much as it's a platform that I can use to publish video and live video, potentially, if you're watching the live video or the video after it's live. They've launched Newswire, which is an aggregate service that pulls in video for news. So instead of having to rely on the news, you can rely on a YouTube. It's kind of a neat service. I like the idea of being able to go to just one channel and have it all pulled in instead of going to various channels and then seeing the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again. So this is the new service. I don't think this is going to help them compete necessarily with live as much. Certainly would be interesting to see how that evolves. In the past few days, at least yesterday I noticed, and certainly today, so it can't just be me, YouTube changed its player design. It looks a lot better than it used to. Looks cleaner from my eyes. Pretty straightforward. Loads fast. It looks clean. Looks better. The player controls are unobtrusive, yet still familiar. And I kind of like that. So YouTube is not resting on its laurels. It continues to push the envelope. HP has announced back-to-school Envy and Pavilion laptops with USB-C and detachable screens. So it's a big deal, if only because more devices are being released in this cycle with USB-C support. And I think within 3 years' time, most, if not all, of the devices that support USB will have USB-C support. I think it's a foregone conclusion. It is just too good. It is just too flexible. It is just too powerful for any manufacturer to alleviate. I am very much wanting to see the death of the micro USB and even mini USB cable connectors, if only because of the lack of reversibility. That is maddening to me. You know, the idea that I have to stick it in this way and it didn't work, and then I stick it in this way and then it doesn't work, and then I stick it in the way that I tried to stick it in the first time and it works again. How does that work? No one's been able to explain that to me, but I am so tired of doing that. I just want to plug and go. I don't want to think about it. And USB-C is going to make it possible. That reversibility, I think, is going to be, you know, beyond being able to support two-way charging and all the other features in buses that it, I mean, not buses, but, you know, it'll support, DisplayPort, it'll support USB, various speeds, but it's about as close to ubiquity as we've seen happen with cables. So it's nice to see that device manufacturers are picking up on this. They're not behind the curve. In many ways, they're ahead of the curve. So congratulations to HP for being ahead of the curve. Xbox One will support Xbox 360 game streaming to Windows 10 and Oculus Rift. I also noticed a few articles suggesting that Xbox 360 games play better in some cases on the Xbox One now that backwards compatibility will become available. This, of course, would be in a test scenario. At this stage, it's not, that I know of, that's not a feature publicly available to Xbox One owners. But I'm inching ever closer to getting an Xbox One. I'm holding out. As much as I'd like to have the Star Wars Battlefront game at launch day, I'm holding out to see if there's a special edition Xbox. Battlefront Xbox. Star Wars Xbox. They had, what was it, the R2-D2 Xbox, the plate and the C-3PO controller a while ago. So I'm guessing there will probably be a Star Wars Xbox. That's my guess. I'm leaning more towards Xbox than the PS4 for a lot of different reasons. One, I like where Microsoft's going with the platform. I like where they were with the platform. Two, I've had an Xbox before. I had the PS3, but that largely played as a Blu-ray disc player. I never really got any games. I'm not that kind of a gamer. I'm a casual gamer, a classic gamer, a retro gamer. I guess retro gaming, that's a thing. It really genuinely is a thing that a lot of people just love because we love them. We love these classic games. You needed an instruction manual, maybe, but you could usually figure it out on your own if the controls were intuitive enough, and you usually only had like 1 or 2 buttons, unless it was the Intellivision. Those controllers were so complex. Fun games. Very fun games on the Intellivision. Loved the graphics, loved the sound processing, but I was very, very happy with my Atari. Hundreds is a game that I played and streamed into this channel. I kind of referred to it earlier. It's a 5-minute gameplay, this puzzle game that I've advanced through over 50 levels on it. This is the first time I was experimenting with streaming it. I'm just perfecting it in terms of how I get things set up to stream these little games into the channel. And they're always done live. It's not an edited video. Maybe I'm setting the stage for the pending release of the YouTube gaming platform, and I do plan on doing something. Although it would likely be mostly casual and retro games for me, if only because with retro games I'm not as nervous about the licensing for them. But I don't own the game, the IP, so it's very, very difficult for me to want to take that step forward without feeling like I'm going to be destroying everything that I'm building. I haven't yet done anything on Twitch. I don't know what game I'd like to try on Twitch first. It's probably going to be something like a Tetris, if I'm able to manage it. I've got to figure out how I want to get things going, how I want to get things set up so I can just press a button and go. That's what I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of that. Press a button, go. I've got all this equipment on my desk right now. I've got this Kano computer. This is the version 2, the Raspberry Pi 2. I reviewed the first Kano, first gen, a while ago. This is the second one. It doesn't annoy me. It's just that I had this here to remind me to contact them because I may want to involve them in our upcoming events. But if you want to know more about the Kano, it's like really the first, a good first computer for potentially for Jedi, for any child, for any kid. You can make your own computer. This has got the new Raspberry Pi inside, so it's certainly faster. I've got one of those modems, or could you call them a jetpack, Verizon jetpack, that is not working very well for me right now because, and I don't think it's the jetpack's problem. I'm currently trying to update to the latest build of Windows 10, and for some reason I can't get it to actually connect. And I don't know why, because I've got everything memorized, but this build of Windows 10 does not like that that particular way of connecting to the internet, which sucks for me. So I can't get that online. Then I've got the Yeti mic right here. What is it? The USB Yeti. It's also got an XLR connection on the bottom, but I'm not too worried about it. So I've got a lot of equipment on my desk, and this is just, it's overwhelming. I can take 1 or 2 things, but I don't like a lot. It's just, to me, it's just very cluttery. as opposed to all the collectibles I've got. I want to use tools for what they do and what experiences they unlock. But I'm probably going to be looking for a microphone that is less obtrusive, and probably even I may have to start looking into a boom rather than having a desktop condenser mic connecting by way of USB, which works well. The sound is great. I'm not using the USB mic right now. I'm using the Rode Shotgun mic connected to the DV cam that I have. I think that when technology unlocks experiences and it gets out of the way, that's where I want to be. I want to be with unobtrusive tech. I don't like a whole bunch of tech around me. I just want it to work. Simple stuff. The more integrated, the happier I am. The less I have to worry about cables all around, the happier I am. So to me, I'm still working my way towards that perfect scenario, and I'm not sure I'm quite there yet. Too many cables, too many issues, too many hurdles that I'm running into, and I think it may be come down to a solution that I may be needing a slightly different mic, one that is substantially smaller than the Yeti. As awesome as that sounds, it's just kind of an eyesore for me. It's just big. Not taking away from it. They also have remember the snowball and the snowflake. They had a snowball. I remember that. That was pretty cool. And then they had a smaller one, a compact, and I think that was a snowflake. But I didn't like how the snowflake sounded. It seemed that the capsule wasn't able to really capture the audio quality that I was looking for. So to round out today's broadcast, before we move into the Hangout, which, again, you're more than welcome to join us in the Hangout. More information at chrispirillo.com. It's in our daily Patron Post. That goofy teasing and hyperplay actually helps young children develop better because of the way that dads play with kids. This was based on new research, and I read this with a great degree of happiness and showed it to Diana, and we had a conversation about it. The research could differ. I'm sorry. Let me move my glasses to the end of my nose so I can see the text on the page. The research could offer dads more leeway in their play with children, suggesting that there's no need for moms or others to worry that their fathers stir up or challenge their children, as long as the kids are happy and having fun. Also, dads can sometimes stop a child's fussing or crying through joking or physical play, and I think for the most part I found that to be true. But it just speaks through how that role of a father in having fun and being fun and involving the kid with fun and encouraging exploration. It seems that I'm falling right into what a father should be, or what a positive role model as a father could be. So it was always nice to hear that kind of reinforcing support, if only because, some might argue and say, well, you need to be more serious. And I'm an adult, and then I can pass that fun along to my child, with, products like LittleBits, and encourage that exploration and have fun at the same time with things like Star Wars, then I'm doing my job. If I have a quote-unquote job as a father, this was really, really nice to see. It was really nice to read. We've got some brief discussion about it. I'll put the link for you in the description so you can read it, and you should, especially if you know of a father. Don't compare your father against the father that is listed here on the page. But we will be diving into it deeper in the vlog that's being recorded today. Coming up later this week, I've got another vehicle review being posted to my classic channel at youtube.com/Chris Pirillo. Earlier this week, of course, you saw the 7 things that I like about my Apple Watch or something along those lines. People seem to like that video. It's a pseudo review. In fact, I'm probably going to be, as I do those types of videos, putting review in parentheses at the end of the title. Product name at the end of the title, and then review in parentheses, because it's kind of like a review. It's a pseudo review. So hopefully you appreciate those. Hopefully you like those, and you get like a massive sneak peek and bonuses if you become a patron and support us in that way. So thanks again for all of your time and all of your attention. I appreciate you at a very, very, very deep level. Whether you're one of my nomies, whether you're one of the super nomies, whoever you are, thank you so much for what it is that you do on a daily basis so that I can continue to do the things that I do for you across all of our channels. Thanks again for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, watching even more of our stuff right now, or listening to more of our stuff right now. At this point, I'm going to roll into the Hangout and leave everybody else to their own devices.